How's it going again, YouTube? It's me again. Just making another video here. I feel this video is a little necessary. So, I'm not gonna bog you into too many details. I'm just gonna get into it. So, so apparently there's this issue um, in Charlotte, yeah, Charlottesville, Virginia, and pretty much what happened was, those that have been living under a rock and watching TV or whatever, or you're just finding out about it, you just didn't care to hear about it, and you hear about it now, because, my video is the most, the most important video to watch. But, yeah, so basically what happened was there was a really big riot um, out in Charlottesville, Virginia, uh, between Trump protesters and anti-Trump protesters. Um, and I guess basically what happened was it just turned into like a really like hate-filled riot on both ends. We had pretty much like a lot of neo Nazis, I guess, basically come out, a lot of white supremacists, and at this point they're not really hiding it. They're just kind of like coming out with it, like, yeah, this is who I am, and this is why I'm supporting this. They went to uh, they went to Home Depot or wherever and got their little tiki torches and they lit them, and they pretty much just protested. Some of them protested in the name of Trump, or at least a good majority of them protested in the name of Trump. So I feel, with this whole thing that's going on, and I've had countless arguments. Now, before I even get into this argument, and I happen to get comments or whatever, I really don't want people to comment that, or at least if you're closed-minded, I don't want you to walk away with, uh, I'm a social justice warrior, or um, or I'm promoting uh, CNN uh, propaganda, or whoever, whatever source of news or whatever that people feel like Clinton supports or whatever. To be honest, I kind of have my own opinions. I usually formulate opinions based on what I see and what I notice. Um, if you want to argue, my opinion, that's cool. You don't have to agree with me. Just, let's have a sensible conversation. Um, let's do that. Let's not, just argue for the sake of arguing or whatever. Um, let's just have a conversation. It's fine. But I just feel like this situation right here confirms the arguments that I've had with plenty of people in the past. This confirms it right here. Like, their racism is alive. Um, I had a argument with somebody um, about the comment that Kanye West made back on stage. This was before he had a meltdown. I'm sorry, I'm holding my headphone up because, as you can see, it's broke. I need to get a new PS4 headset. But yeah, I'm broke. I need money. So the whole thing with this situation is Kanye West came on stage and he said, like, black people, y'all need to stop acting like racism continuously exists. It's like, well, Kanye West, we have no choice but to focus on racism. And the whole Charlottesville incident is a perfect prime example. The problem isn't just people, it is racism. Like, there are genuinely people out here who feel like uh, racism is uh, a thing now. Like, they feel like there are literally white people out there um, who feel like, this is not just black people. This is minorities in general, because white people are afraid. There are white people out there, and I'm not saying all white people. If you're not, amongst the white people that I'm speaking about, then you have nothing to worry about. But I'm just speaking on, this was a country founded on like a bunch of white ancestors, white slave owners who brought people from different lands and stuff like that and forced them uh, to uh, uh, to colonize with this country, the United States. And and the only reason why they did that is power. They felt like they had so much power over, uh, as minorities are seen as the lesser race. So, and this is just the thing, is they don't want, these types of people just do not want black people and minorities to have more than them. They don't want them to have more than them. And that is kind of the issue here. Um, I mean, hell, they're still blaming Obama for this shit. Obama's not even in office anymore, and he's still catching heat. He's not even he's not even the president of the United States anymore. Like, it's fucking crazy. Yeah, the president of the United States now is Donald Trump. It's not fucking Obama. But Obama got blamed for that situation that happened out in Charlottesville. That is crazy. But what? To basically touch base on what I'm saying is, I just feel like this situation proves that racism is very alive. A lot of these people are praising neo-Nazi groups. A lot of these people are praising white supremacists. There was a guy. There was a guy who was involved in it. I can't remember his name, but I heard the phone call with him on it where he tried to say, he's like, where he was commenting on Robert E. Lee. And if you guys know who Robert E. Lee is, you kind of get the gist of it. He pretty much came out and said, well, I wouldn't say Robert E. Lee was like a bad individual, but, I mean, he wasn't a perfect human being, but, he's not as bad as people says he is. It's like, this motherfucker is the reason why slavery existed. What are you talking about? Like, he was like a big slave owner. Like, how is this guy not as bad as people say he is? Of course it's not. Like, he put himself out there. Like, that's how he is. That's history. You can't erase history. And a lot of these guys are trying to erase history. They're trying to go in there and shape history and go like, well, it's not as bad as people said it was. It was fucking horrible. Like if you go back and read some of those history books, read on Robert E. Lee. It's fucking horrible. Um, I see. I'm not really. See here. Let me check something out here. Yeah, I mean, this dude really tried to come out and say like, well, Robert E. Lee is not that bad of a person. Uh, he was a Confederate general. He led the South. He pretty much led the South. Uh, this was during the. Let's see here. I think this is during the Revolutionary War, right? Yeah, this was. Yeah, because I learned about this in college. That's how I got to know about who he was a little bit. Uh, so yeah, he basically led the South during the Confederate War when it was the North versus the South. Uh, and if you guys know, uh, the South was against the abolishment of slavery. North was trying to abolish slavery, and the South said, "Hell no! Like, we need our slaves." And this guy was Robert E. Lee was like the front runner. How is this guy not that bad? Like where in his character is it not that bad? And this is coming out of the mouth of the people of one of the guys who was carrying his little tiki torch, running around in Charlottesville. And another thing about those tiki torch guys is, and somebody, I was watching this. I don't probably still on your thunder, and I'm sorry, but I want to agree with that too, because every time you see the KKK like rallies and stuff like that back in the day, you notice they're carrying torches. They're all carrying torches, and this lets you know that this is a symbol for like they're trying to start a hate-fueled riot. That's what I'm saying. Like, this should wake people up. Like, I'm not understanding why people are trying to act like racism is not a thing and racism does not exist, and people who talk about it are crazy. They're not. Like this. Like, watch that whole entire thing. Watch the guy who ran his car into a group of anti-Trump protesters. This guy ran his car into a whole bunch of people and killed somebody. And yeah, killed this lady. I can't remember the lady's name, but he killed her. So that's what I'm saying. Like, uh, and this also brings me further to a point about Donald Trump. And a lot of people were like, well, I've watched like interviews and stuff like that about the whole Trump thing. So this is how I feel about the whole thing about Trump not responding, because I feel like this is a serious thing. I feel like this. If we had if we had confirmed fears about Trump at some point, this was kind of the time for him to come out and say something. This was the time to like prove himself and make himself like. Actually, I feel like this was like the perfect opportunity to come in here and prove a lot of the Trump doubters wrong. Me being one of them. I've always hated Donald Trump. Like, even I think before presidency, I was like, this guy's a fucking disgusting human being. Like, I really don't like this dude. I literally, even as president, well, I think what he's kind of stupid to me, because I think what pretty much told me that was when he tried to get the term, you're fired patent. I'm like, that's not a real patent, because everybody says that. Um, so I'm like, this guy's a stupid individual. He's a fucking idiot. And the thing is uh, he basically comes out and he's like, yeah. So he comes out. He denounces the KKK. He denounces these white supremacists. He defines neo-Nazism. He comes out and says, you know, racism is bad. It's bad. I'm like, okay, all right, okay. He's trying to win over good graces. I see where he's going, but it took him days to respond. I'm just like, so it took you 2 days to respond on a really serious incident that caused people their lives. I'm pretty sure people died there. I mean, this was serious. I saw a dude with a gash over his head. Like, this got pretty violent. And it's because there was a lot of people involved in this situation that were inciting hate. Um, and the thing is that he comes out and he says something. This is my thing about Trump. When he says something, he doesn't say anything that's impactful. You can usually tell when someone's sincere. And I understand, like, even Obama may not be sincere at times. I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of these presidents have things that are scripted to them or handed to them or whatever. But at least, like, show me some sympathy. If you show me some sympathy, or you show me, like, this situation impacted you, this fucked you up badly. I mean, this honestly feels like this was more of an like, when you saw Trump and you saw him apologize, like, just, you could tell it was an obligation, because he's like, oh yeah, well, yeah, all these people, they need to get together, and we need to unite as one, and all this stuff. Like, that's all nice, that's all fine and dandy, man. But then you like wait like a couple days to respond to this, and only after you caught heat for not responding to it at all. Like, you didn't respond to this at all. You had nothing to say for like a couple days, and I really feel it's because. And then I thought back to when I've heard stuff about him endorsing the KKK, and I'm like, okay, well, this guy obviously doesn't want to offend the people that is underneath him, or he's backing, because he endorsed these people. He lied about it, but I mean, the facts are there. You have a history of endorsing the KKK. You have a history, and this isn't even like, and this is not me making speculation anymore. This man really came out and called Mexicans rapists. He he encouraged he encouraged black violence at one of his rallies. This man came out and tried to build a wall to ban Muslims because he doesn't like Muslims. He's made fun of Muslims. That's how I know he doesn't like Muslims. So we can't sit up here and act like this guy didn't say all this stuff. I mean, you're going to come here and say, well, Obama probably did this, and Obama did that, and Obama did this, but he's never like came out and like he's never came out and if he said it, he's never said it publicly. He was really like he's really secretive about it, but he's never came out and made it public like this man has. Like this man is so because people were like, yeah, we like him because he's so honest. But is that always a good thing that he's so open about everything? You know, like people were this ever since this man has become elected. It's like racists have come out the closet, like they're coming out and saying stuff. And again, you know, I'm not against all white people. There are some good white people out there. There are good white people out there. You know, so there's just like there's good black people and there's terrible black people out there too. You know, there's terrible people and good people of all races. But we can't sit up here, even his Trump supporters, like even his supporters, you got to look at this like, yeah, this man is like, there's something wrong with this dude, like, especially running a country. Like, this is scary knowing that this man endorses this type of hate, and the only reason why he comes out and he does things is because he has to save face in front of people, and that's crazy. I think he shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to sit up here and wonder if he's going to be like a front runner for hate crimes. I mean, he's got people in his cabinet that are fucking homophobic. I actually think I just seen a thing recently where his cabinet got dropped after that incident because, like, you're going to not respond to it, and then you're going to come back and kind of give us, like, a half-ass speech, and then when somebody in a cabinet asks you, like, hey, you know, why didn't you respond to this when it happened? Your only response is like, look, I came out, I apologize for it, let it be. It's like, okay, but you still not, you know, you're not giving an indefinite answer. So, I mean, I think, you know, that's crazy within itself. Um, so that's kind of all I really have to say about that. Um, I know I've rambled for like 17 minutes. Uh, I know I'm probably going to catch a lot of stuff from like Trump supporters if they hear this video. Um, you know, but that's fine. You know, like I said, I'm here. Um, if I left something out, I can respond to you, comment on the video or whatever. I just felt like I had to get this out because after seeing all the horrific events, actually seeing the footage, seeing the horrific pictures, and then for Trump to just come out and give like this kind of half-ass apology, this half-ass like speech, I'm just like, are you fucking for it? Like, he didn't even sound sincere when he was even giving it. It sounded like he just didn't even want to do it. Um, I mean, even his wife put out a tweet, and that shit was just copied and pasted from a Michelle Obama speech, and it was. She copied it and pasted from Michelle Obama's speech. So I was like, you guys don't even give a fuck about any of this. Like, y'all just don't care. You just don't. A lot of the problem is like those groups that Trump had to speak out against. These are a lot of the groups that gave him votes. Um, and even if he's not being super openly racist as of now, you know, somebody actually brought up a good point on this too. Uh, Corey from Double Toasted mentioned, yeah, man, this is a really good point because I didn't think about this. Yeah, you're guilty by association. Anytime you associate yourself with like a group that has to, like, you know, you like, for instance, you and your guys decide to go in and steal a television, and You don't necessarily steal it, but you're still guilty by association. You know who stole it. You know where they live. You know these people. So I think Trump is the same way. I think you know the KKK. You've endorsed these people. No, you're not coming out. You may not be coming out and saying racist things as of now, but you are guilty by associating with these people. You know these people's history. You know their past. You know what they stand for. So that's kind of what I'm gonna leave there. Also, and I just look at it like this: at this point, after seeing this footage and everything like that, if you're still saying that there's no racism in America, anything like that, at this point you're either one of two things. You either stupid, which I really want to not believe that people are that stupid, or you're racist yourself. I mean that this is pretty much just going to have to come down to you're either racist, stupid, or you're that naive to the facts. Um, you know, so I mean that's pretty much what I'm gonna leave you with. Um, and I'm not just taking this from CNN or nothing like that. Look this stuff up. I mean, this stuff is on YouTube. This stuff is not just on CNN. It's on multiple sources. I mean, Huffington Post. These are just to name a few places. I mean, I mean, again, I'm not just making things up. Uh, so I really wish people could just look at this stuff and just one day just wake up. But I mean, as long as we keep doing this, as long as we keep, you know, adding fuel to the fire, we're just going to be we're just going to be separate. We're never going to see eye to eye. And that's just how it's going to be. But yeah, okay. I don't ramble for 21 minutes, 22 minutes. All right, I will see you on the next video, and thanks for watching.